What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. It's Wednesday, which means we have fights this upcoming weekend. We have another UFC fight night in Tampa Bay, Florida. Now, after a wonderful pay-per-view this past weekend at UFC 243 in Australia, this fight night coming up this Saturday is absolutely free. Another chance for us to save our dollars. We are going to talk about the three most high-profile fights on the card, high-profile fights, whatever. We're going to start right away with the return of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor legend Mackenzie Dern, finally stepping back into the octagon after having her baby. Congratulations, by the way. And she is set to face Amanda Ribas. Now, this is a very, very fine-tuned matchup they put together for us here because we have a high-profile Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete going up against high-profile Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete. But there is a much bigger difference in that of the resume of Mackenzie Dern when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Fought and won, or at least placed, is far more astronomical in terms of quantity and quality when compared to Amanda Ribas. ADCC World Champion, ADCC North American Champion, World Jiu-Jitsu Champion, No-Gi World Jiu-Jitsu Champion, Pan Jiu-Jitsu Champion, European Champion, Brazilian National Champion, Asian Open Champion, and Abu Dhabi World Cup. Oh my God. Mackenzie Dern, although bearing only a 7-0 victory, not so much experience inside the octagon, she has more experience than most fighters, competitive athletes, combat sports athletes on the planet in terms of actually competition. And now she's transposing it into the MMA world and successfully thus far doing so. Amanda Ribas is also another fantastic athlete. And for me, I think because she does bear significant knockout power, she has fantastic striking, and even comparing it to Mackenzie Dern, far superior striking than that of Mackenzie, I think she should be keeping this on the feet. Bearing 2 KO victories on her record, this is exactly where she needs to keep it. Because although you might be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and that of the caliber of a highly recognized and long-time active competitor in that of Mackenzie Dern is a different level status of a black belt. And maybe she has enough in inventory to at least utilize her jiu-jitsu to at least stay away from danger. But nonetheless, the judges are going to be able to see if this turns into a jiu-jitsu match, then Mackenzie Dern's got the upper hand. Maybe more submission attempts or just more favorable positions and pushing the pace more. Amanda needs to keep this on the feet. I think she has enough jiu-jitsu, takedown offense, etc. to at least keep that distance and use her striking advantage. But if Mackenzie Dern, who is absolutely huge and strong, mind you, does get a hold of you and take this to the ground, this can be very difficult because Mackenzie Dern, first of all, should be fighting in like 2 weight classes heavier than what she is currently cutting to. Mackenzie Dern has a fatigue problem. So if Amanda Ribas can expose this, maybe keep it at a distance, utilize her strikes until it gets into the later round, we could see a very fatigued Mackenzie Dern here, and maybe Amanda Ribas getting it on the judges' scorecard. However, I don't think it's going to play that way. I think Mackenzie Dern is back, and she's back for a reason. She's got a new fire under her ass in terms of fighting on behalf of her family and her new child. Congratulations once again. And I think she's really going to take it to Amanda. She's going to close that distance, get a hold of her, and once she does get a hold of her, like an octopus, she's going to hold on for dear life, and Amanda's not going to be able to do anything. Mackenzie Dern's going to eventually take her to the ground, and I see her getting a second round submission victory over a tethered, beaten up, and overly fatigued Amanda Ribas in the second round. Now, when we go to the co-main event, we have longtime featherweight vet of both the WEC world and the UFC world. We are talking about Cub Swanson. And he is facing a very low-profile opponent in terms of MMA, but not for long. We're talking about Gracie's own Kron Gracie. Now, I say not for long because, like Mackenzie Dern, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu record in the championships that he holds in his inventory and his trophy case is larger than Earth's population, really. But nonetheless, it's astronomical. And coming into the UFC, only one fight fighting a top opponent of Alex Caceres and making such quick, easy work of him really put an asterisk beside his name to say, you know what? Other than Alex, he hasn't fought in anybody, but you should be very wary because he is a force to be reckoned with, and he made his voice be heard with that first round finish of Bruce Leroy. I think if anybody's familiar with the Gracie family, basically the family that started this whole mixed martial arts sport to begin with, should be very scared and open their eyes to watch the bring back of the original Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu climb to the top top once again because I think Kron is that Gracie to do so. He also has very significant striking. Does he use it to put you out? No, but the Gracie mentality is not really to strike you to put you out. It's to strike you to get in close, to grab one of your body parts, take you to the ground, and get that submission. Cub Swanson on a 0-4 losing streak, the first time in his career, is on the verge of unfortunately getting kicked out of the UFC, and this is a victory he really needs to get back. But will that mean that he's overly aggressive, that leaves it open for openings? We are gonna soon find out. I think that could be a real scary thing for him. Obviously, the keys to victory is simple. Cub Swanson, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but he is first and foremost an MMA fighter, where Kron Gracie is first and foremost a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. So I think Cub needs to keep this at a distance. Really keep it long, utilize that jab. I would even kind of stay away from the leg kicks, to be honest, because Kron's gonna be looking for those to grab them and take you down to the ground immediately, which is what I think he's gonna do and truly what I believe he's capable of doing. I think Cub Swanson could be on his way out here. I know Kron still has a lot to prove here, and I think this is the fight to do it. And I think Cub Swanson's in for a real treat because I think Kron is really going to exchange here in the striking department and really throw off Cub Swanson, because Cub Swanson's going to be expecting a predominant jiu-jitsu fighter to just grapple him and try to take him to the ground. Whilst I think inevitably it will get to the ground, and I'll tell you when in just a second, I do think Kron is going to outstrike him for a little while, exchange, and then when Cub Swanson gets a little excited, thinking he's a little too comfortable into that striking game, that's when Kron's going to go for the takedown, take it to the ground, and inevitably get that submission on Cub Swanson. And I'm thinking the end of the first or the beginning of the second as well. Now we're going to go to the main event. We have a fantastic fight going on here, folks. We have the previous strawweight queen, Joanna Jedrzejczyk, going up against the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson. Two absolutely phenomenal, well-rounded mixed martial artists. Michelle Waterson, obviously me more tenured with the grappling game, the takedown, the ground and pound, and a very good stand-up striker as well. When we compare her stand-up technique to that of the stand-up technique of Joanna Jedrzejczyk, there really is no comparison. Joanna Jedrzejczyk is, in my opinion, one of the best kickboxers in mixed martial arts. Her last loss coming against, in my opinion, the best kickboxer in mixed martial arts and the fighter with the best IQ for the sport to begin with, and that's Valentina Shevchenko, which is an opponent who I also think would kill Michelle Waterson, so that's not really to be frowned upon. Soon before that, she had a fantastic victory against Tecia Torres, just outworking a fighter who is also phenomenal wrestler and grappler and cardio tank of a specimen in Tecia Torres. She ran the whole division for years. Of course, when she came up short, when she came out to fight Rose Namajunas and got knocked the fuck out, and of course, in their next match, losing by unanimous decision. She is ready to get back into that win streak and of course, get back into the win column with the last coming off a loss like I was mentioning. Now, Michelle Waterson not really having the most successful time in the UFC when she first started, but now she finds herself in a 3-fight win streak against the best the division has to offer. Her latest with Carolina Kowalkiewicz, man, that's tough, Felice Herrick, and Courtney Casey. This is the next test in her career. This is the fight that she needs to win in order to get that title shot, because mark my words, if she can get past Joanna Jedrzejczyk, she is getting that title shot for sure. I just think, in my opinion, that the striking of Joanna Jedrzejczyk is a little too sharp, crisp, and fast for Michelle Waterson. Although I do want to see Michelle Waterson get to this next stage in her career, she's going to have to utilize her wrestling like never before and take Joanna Jedrzejczyk down ASAP, where Joanna Jedrzejczyk is going to know that and set you up with those knees and those uppercuts on your way in for the shoot. I just don't know if Michelle Waterson is really going to have the tools that she needs to really outsmart, outstrike, and finish, or at least outpoint Joanna Jedrzejczyk. And if I'm gonna have to score this fight, I do think Joanna Jedrzejczyk is gonna take this fight via unanimous decision. I think she's got too many skills, and minus Valentina Shevchenko, of course, the best striker in that division and one of the best in combat sports, period, both male or female. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's gonna be an exciting fight. #1 contender fight. Come on, guys, there's no reason not to watch this. Thanks so much for tuning in. Leave a like, dislike, comment, both positive or negative, doesn't matter. Share it all over the damn world. Thank you guys so much. Get ready to tune in for amazing fights, and we are gonna see you next week. Peace.